Hey everybody, it's Dave, Bluejacket66 here for another video. Haven't made a video in a while, despite the fact that I've been collecting like crazy and acquiring, I think, some of the best cards I've gotten in several years over the past 6 months or so. But I don't know, a lot going on, a lot going in life, and just haven't been feeling it. I have been posting it Instagram. If you do Instagram, I'm on @Bluejacket66. With that, you can just throw up a card every once in a while. It takes seconds to do and kind of get some feedback that nice card, and there's not a lot you have to do to put into doing that, so it's quite a bit easier. But I love YouTube, and I've been on YouTube, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now. So I've made a decision, and I hope I keep to it, to start posting a lot more videos. I've actually have a couple projects coming up. One is essentially going to be called Giving Away the Vintage Collection, where on a very regular basis, I'm just going to be giving away a lot of my collection. I'm not getting out of the hobby, and I'm not giving away my PC collection, but I've been collecting for a very long time, and my father collected for a very, very long time, and I have a great deal of stuff. Some fantastic, some rather mundane, but I'm just at the point now where I don't want to be selling stuff all the time to Heritage or eBay or whatnot. So I think I would get my greatest pleasure by just giving it away to collectors that are interested in vintage. I'll make a first video on that at some point, but I'm sure my criteria is what it used to be with some of my contests, is that you have to be a subscriber to mine, and you have to make videos. And I'm sure I will just do it with, say hey below if you're interested in the item, and we'll do just a random drawing. And when I video that random drawing, we'll have another item up, because to be honest with you, I have an endless amount of items. And what I've thought about giving away, I just repainted the house, and so it meant moving a lot of stuff and getting a lot of stuff out of the bedroom, pictures, boxes, and I have some fantastic display items that I'm just done. I mean, I have something in a box that's been in a box for 11 years that I sent away to a auction house about 11 years ago, and it's a fantastic piece, and it arrived there, and before it could get in the catalog, or it may have even gotten in the catalog, I called them. I said, I don't want to give away this piece. I don't want to sell it, just send it back. And they sent it back, and it's still in this large FedEx box from 11 or 12 years ago. I haven't opened it. So I'm thinking, should I just give that away? Even though it's a fantastic piece, I suppose it's a $2,500 piece or so. And I think the answer is yes. So I'll be giving away anything from items like that to small cards. And I just want to do it on a regular basis, because I have no interest in I'm not going to sell on eBay anymore. I've had enough with eBay. Anything that I sell on major auction houses, but as people that know me know, I don't sell much, although I have from time to time, just for fun, sold on eBay, but I'm completely done with eBay. I'll probably buy on eBay from time to time. So that will be a part of Bluejacket66, will just be a regular episode 1, 2, 3 forever of giving away vintage collection. The other regular spot I'm going to be doing, and I thought about this for some time now, and I don't just do things, because I'm very on and off, and I'll think about, hey, I'm really going to do that, then I wake up one morning and think, do I really want to put the time into doing that? But I do have a project that I'm pretty sure I'm going to do, and it will be another regular episode thing, probably once every 2 weeks to 2 months, because I'll need to do research on it. That's going to be a very special project. It's something YouTube needs. It's something the vintage collecting community needs, and it's something that's not out there. And someone's got to do it, and it's not going to be those other guys. It's going to be me. So I am gearing up for that. I think when I do that, I'm going to need higher production other than just my cell phone. I'm not a tech guy, and I'm not looking for high production value, but it's something that I want to do some graphics with, and something in the background rather than me doing what I've done before on some of my teaching videos, which is essentially printing paper and put them on poster board. Those are some of my best videos, but I think I need to go to some higher production for my next project, which I think is going to be important for the vintage collecting community. There have been some very interesting items up for auction recently. Most recently in Wheatland auctions, and what I do is I look at all auctions, and many of the auction sites I don't ever bid in, but and the one thing I'm looking for always is that rare item that you obviously, since it's rare, you do not see that often. And there's a few things up recently. One, in the Wheatland auction that just ended, there were a couple mascot dog food items. The mascot dog food is a known card. Up until a couple years ago, the only one known was the Robin Roberts. But a mantle came up a couple years ago in a PSA 1, or not a 1, it was pinholed and in poor condition, but it looked fantastic. PSA wouldn't grade it, SGC wouldn't grade it because there's no checklist and they never seen one before. It ended up getting graded by Beckett, and it went up for auction in a little obscure auction. It may have actually been Wheatland, I'm not sure, but I bid on it then, but didn't bid as high as it went. I think it went $25,000, which I'd instantly pay for now, but I just wasn't sure if it was even real. Actually, I ended up holding that card at the Dallas Card Show last May. But nonetheless, since then, another mantle came up that it was in higher grade, I think a PSA 6 or so. I think that went for close to $90,000. Why I bring that up is in this last Wheatland auction, which was just ended a couple days ago, there was a Roy Campanella, which was a 1. It was pinhole 2, and I bid on it, and I was either going to get it. I mean, if I wanted it, I was going to get it. That's a fact. But my mood changed, and some things came up. There's a lot of stresses in life, and I just decided I'm not bidding on it. I was working that night and whatnot. So that was a very interesting item. And there was a couple other mascot dog foods, and those are just super rare. There's only 4 known of the Campanella. I wonder if there's been a small find of those and that they're releasing them up for auction very slowly every 6 months to a year or so, which is a smart way of doing it. What is not a smart way of doing it is that Black Swamp find of E98s. They seem to trickle those in a little bit, then they just kind of dumped on the market, and they completely ruined the E98 market, in my opinion. And I don't like those cards. They look pristine and they look terrible. The other interesting things come up, and that is in this Heritage auction, which is ending Sunday, I believe. And I urge you, if you're a vintage sports card collector, to look at these 2 cards, because you will probably never see them again. There are 1912 Plows candy cards of Ty Cobb and Honus Wagner. The Honus Wagner is purported as being the only known copy. That may or may not be true. And then there's a Cobb. I think they're both in PSA 7. And to me, those are the most exciting cards to come to a sports card auction in the last 25 years, in my opinion. So I urge you to go to Heritage Auction and look at those cards. They're Plow Candy, 1912, and there's one of Ty Cobb and one of Honus Wagner. And to learn about those cards, I thought I was an expert, or one of the foremost experts on that issue. But I am not. On Heritage Auction on YouTube, if you go to Plows Candy Card Heritage, just use those search terms, you will find a video on a guy who is, without question, the foremost expert on that issue, the Plows Candy issue. And he talks about how he got these cards. He's the one that put these cards up for auction, and the others in his collection. I think it's a 30-minute video. It is fascinating, and it is what I am all about on collecting vintage cards. And that's why I love pre-war cards. All the issues have fantastic stories. It's not, I open up a pack and these are Bowman's, or these are Borman Best, and these are Topps Finest, and they've numbered them, and they numbered them 5. That's so uninteresting. But almost every pre-war issue, you can go down rabbit holes about the different owners and the candy companies and how they evolved and the stories behind those cards and the real rarity of them. So check out that Plows Candy. What else? Now let's get around to the card that I want to show you. It's a very exciting card. I've been looking for this card for some time, and what happens in pre-war cards, a lot of times, especially if they're Hall of Famers, you look and look and look, and you wait and wait and wait, and the price goes up, up, up. You see on Card Ladder a bunch of, you see modern cards, and it goes like this. That's not the way it is with modern. I've been doing this a long time. All issues are up. Now I know they're down from this crazy peak that we had a couple years ago, but the fact of the matter is, with pre-war Hall of Famers, it's a no-lose, period. You collect it well over decades and decades, and you will be vacationing and retiring on the island of your choice. But looking for this one card, and you may ask yourself, well, you haven't had that? And I actually have not had this issue before. And I waited and waited and waited, and I've looked and looked and looked over years and years. Number one, it will always be around. And number two, I was waiting for the right one. And I finally found the right one. And I thought I'd found the right one. So I called or text Andrew, Enough Said Cards, and I said, I think this is the one. And I wanted him to look at it to see if he could be perfectly honest with me, to see if he agrees with me that the attributes that I wanted for this card and that I've been waiting years and years for is all there. And he agreed with me in every aspect. He pointed out some things. He thought, like I did too, that the card was probably a little overgraded. And he pointed something out on the back that may or may not be some writing. And I looked at that as well. And we decided, and I decided, so I said, I'm going for it to get this card. And it's fantastic. Let's take a look. Okay, well, I am back, and I realized, looking at my timer, I talked for about 13 minutes without showing a card, but at least I got some of my thoughts and what I'm thinking, and some of the upcoming things to look forward to my video, which is more regularity in video and some special things, one of which I'm really excited about. So here it is, one in Heritage Auction. This is its brother, is this simply fantastic 1910 Sweet Caporal T206 Ty Cobb. And what was I looking for in this card? Because major auctions, especially Robert Edwards auctions and Heritage, you'll see these commonly. I mean, there's certainly the population reports on the red compared to the green, and even the bad on, bad offs are about 2 to 1. But it's the good old red that is really the iconic and classic card. So a few things I was looking for and that struck me when I saw this card, irregardless of the grade. And the number one thing was the registration is absolutely stunning. With this card, if you go and look at most of them or many of them, the image is not sharp, and actually where there's blue on the eyes, it doesn't line up right, and then he almost looks like he has double eyes or so. This is we all love our cards and say how we got a great deal and everything's perfect about it. But this is actually, and Andrew agreed, one of the best registered T206 red Cobbs I've ever seen. And on top of that, the centering is fantastic. It has corner wear that I absolutely love. It's got nice big white borders. It doesn't look skinny on one side and questionable. And the corners are those honest, I'm a 1910 card corner. Now on this one, you'll notice the corners, it's a little higher grade, but nonetheless, the corners are quite a bit sharper, which is fine. The borders are not as big, and it's a beautiful, beautiful card. And even though this one is a lower grade, and maybe actually overgrade a little bit, just because of the little corner wear, it's just fantastic. The back looks good. There's a little bit of dirt right above the T there. There's a little swirl there. It almost looks like a 6. And we were wondering, Andrew actually saw that, whether or not that was a pencil mark. I've looked at it under a loop. I'm not sure what it is. It's certainly something on the card. It doesn't look to me like it was drawn intentionally. It doesn't look like pencil. It's actually very faint. And there's some little smudges like above, below the 2 T's and right here. So there's a little bit of dirt on the back, but even the centering on the back is dead on. So, and you guys may say, well, I've seen your red Cobb before, your T206 red Cobb, but actually I don't have one. What I have shown, I don't think I've ever talked about the card, but I've shown it at a couple videos, is actually a T213 coupon card, a Type 2, which is way more rare than the T206, and it is actually one of the most favorite cards in my collection. So here they are. Really proud of this one, this red T206. Both of these are Sweet Caporal, at least that's how I pronounce it. They're quite a duo there, and huge part of my collection. I'm so happy they're in SGC holders. I've said it before, I'm a big PSA guy, but for pre-war, either way, but the pre-war community, SGC is the grading company, no question about it. And they look fantastic in that. Would I put them in newer holders, since these are older holders? Why? I guess why? I don't see any reason to that. I do like the new flips on the SGC, or the newer flips, better than these, but at some point you get a little nervous about them breaking out a card, handling the card, redoing a card, and what happens. It's one of the reasons why my Dandy Mantle, my SGC 7 Dandy Mantle, and it's an old SGC holder. I had to send it back to them, see if they'll bump it. But I've thought about getting that in PSA, because I like most of my mantles in PSA, but it just terrifies me of the potential for damage to the card. So a lot of my cards that are in older holders, including older PSA, my 51 Bowman Mantle is in an older PSA holder, and it's my card. And I don't want somebody mucking around with it, changing holder just to have the old lighthouse holder. That's not the way I roll. There they are, green and red, the T206 Ty Cobb. Thanks for watching.